Yo, hello everyone. My name is Sammy, and I'm a Web3 security researcher. And thank you, OpenSense, for inviting me and making this possible. It's been due for a couple of months now, so I'm really glad to be here and share my journey with you all. Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Okay, so I'll start with a small introduction about myself. So I'm a founding security researcher at Blackthorn. And before joining Blackthorn, I also did a lot of contests, and I have a lot of top podium finishes in audit contests. I also do solo audits. I audit mainly Solidity and also Rust and Go. And I'm happy to share that my contributions have helped secure multiple nine-figure TVL DeFi protocols. So yeah, so a little bit about my background. I graduated last year with a degree in computer science. Um, and I don't really have a lot of professional tech experience before Web3 security. I did a couple of internships in, typical Web2 dev, but I wasn't actually interested in that a lot. It felt kind of boring. So that caused me to go out of my way and discover Web3. And I really liked crypto and found Web3 really interesting, and that's why I'm here. So yeah, I'll talk about how I exactly discovered Web3. So it's a very interesting story. So basically, I knew about crypto since when I was, I don't know, 15 or 14, and I saw like Bitcoin exploding all over the place. I think the price shot up back in 2017, 2018. So it was all over the news. And that's when I heard about Bitcoin, and I read up about it, and the concept was really interesting to me back then, but I didn't really know how to get into it. So I went to college for computer science, and my peers actually were talking about something called Web3, and I had no idea what it was, but um, like during the 21 or 22, 2022, uh, like those years, there was a bull run, and everyone was talking about Web3 and crypto again. So I discovered like you could basically be a developer in Web3, and you you can be all remote, and the numbers were really big for me back then, like the kind of numbers people told you about in Web3. So it was pretty interesting. So in the summer of 2022, I tried to learn Solidity. Uh, you know, um, you must have heard of some YouTube boot camps, and I tried to follow those. For Solidity, I tried to build like a project in Solidity, but like I wasn't that determined, and I just gave up somewhere midway, and I just got distracted and started focusing on different things. But like it was definitely very interesting to me, and I was like, maybe someday I'm going to finally learn it and maybe have a career in this. But yeah, so that happened. Only if I did continue in 2022. We all know everyone that started in 2022 is doing very well right now. Yeah,
Learning is hard. Like the first time you're learning anything, things should be super hard. And but it's nice to see that you were able to round trip that and come back again and make a name for yourself.
yeah, definitely, man. Like it would have been very heartbreaking now, especially in the current bull run. If I wasn't a part of this industry, it would have been like a huge FOMO for me. Yeah, so basically, I started last year. I started learning again around Feb last year, 2024. And back then, basically, I was doing a remote Web2 internship, and I was really bored. I didn't like the work, and it was like a typical, setup where you have a boss, and it was just very, very boring. And the tasks were really like uninteresting. So I just like randomly one day I just sat down on my computer and I was like, I want to do something else. And I started like looking on the net, like what I can do instead of this like Web2 development. So I remembered that I had watched like a video about Ethernaut, or like something about Web3 bounties, and like they pay a lot. Something like that I watched on YouTube back in 2022. So I didn't know exactly what, but I just Googled Web3 bounties. And I think I landed on Immunify first. And I was like, oh, Immunify payouts 1 million, 10 million. And I'm like, no way, no way going to get such bounties. But then I looked for, another search result was Code for Arena. And I didn't know anything about audit contests. I knew a bit about development and bounties, but I had no clue what security reviews were or audit contests were. So I went to Code Arena and I looked at the kind of payouts people were getting, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of a lot. And then I remember going to the leaderboard and I just sorted it by top to bottom. And then I went to the first person's like bio, and then they had a blog about the audit contest journey, and then that's how I actually got started. I read that blog completely many times, and I was like, whoa, I think this is kind of doable, because uh, um, the person whose blog it was, they had also done it for like 1 or 2 years and they had pretty good results. So I was like, it might just be doable.
Can you remember? Can
I got really
you
inspired
the
by
name of the researcher? Was that Trust? Was that
uh I think it was Milo Truck at the time.
oh my
Yeah,
Trust?
Milo Truck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, his blog. Yeah. Yeah, his blog really helped me. And after that, I, went into the rabbit hole. I read Christoph's blog as well. And then I saw some podcasts on YouTube, Andy Lee and Johnny Time. So like I kind of understood what exactly is happening in the industry. So I just got a basic introduction about what to expect and what's there to do in the Web3 security industry, and it was very intriguing, obviously. So, and on Code Arena at that time, there was just $100,000 contest going on, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. And if you think about it now, it's not a lot compared to what we have now, but back then it seemed like a lot of money. Just one contest, 100K contest seemed like a lot back then. So we're really blessed to have like 10 of these, at least like 10 to 15 of these going on
Yeah.
parallelly, right?
Right now, I think we have
Yeah.
7.5 million for a
Yeah,
signature
we have.
a year.
Yeah.
It's crazy amount of money.
Yeah, right now it's completely crazy. It's bonkers. But back then I was like, wow, you get 100K for finding bugs. Obviously you don't get the entire 100K, but I was like, wow, even if I can get like 1% of that, it's a lot of money. So anyways, I was like, wow, um, I need to grind this now. I don't want to do like development.
One
And I'm really,
Can I make a
yeah,
can I have make a question for you here? I mean,
yeah, sure, sure,
we are seeing those contests and everything upscaling value. We are seeing even more and more researchers coming out of maybe nowhere and becoming really good. Like some people are really talented. I mean, we even have a name for that right now. We call them, I think, dark horses. But do you think that just today we have this amazing new update from OpenAI on image, image processing? So they're
yeah, yeah,
be able to do some really, really cool stuff right now. Do you think we're gonna come to
yeah,
that point on code too? In a point that not this is not the simple will AI replace code talk is will AI be
yeah.
able to create secure code, and are we working on an industry that is about to have a huge change? Do you think that's happening?
Right now, working with AI is kind of like leaving a child in the park, to be honest. You have to take good care of it still. You have to check everything it does. You can't just let it do its thing on its own. Yeah, but I do see the potential. I mean, it does help me a lot. I do use LLMs a lot in my you know auditing, but I think it's not there yet when it comes to very like unique bugs or like very complex stuff. And usually those are the kind of bugs you want to prevent from going live. So I don't think it can provide the best value right now when it comes to security. And security is something where a lot of trust is also involved. So I think if anything, security would be the last industry where AI would have a really major impact.
Interesting.
That's just my opinion. Okay. So yeah. So my journey. So I started learning Solidity again in Feb of 2024. I initially started by looking at some tutorials on Solidity, Cypher, Updraft, and a smart contract programmer. And those were helpful, but I felt like I was learning a bit slowly and like I wasn't retaining a lot of what I was learning. So I chose a more hands-on approach. There's crypto zombies, and I think I finished that within the first 7 days. It's still a pretty good tool to learn Solidity. I think it's a bit outdated, but still pretty good. So I think I finished that pretty quickly. I was grinding 12 to 14 hours a day because I was like completely obsessed with the technology. And after that, I did the Ethernet CTF by OpenZeppelin. And this one was a bit tricky for me as a beginner, but I, looked at solutions side by side, and I think I finished this as well within, I don't know, 15 days or 10 days. And then there's a damn vulnerable DeFi, which is a pretty good one, pretty good CTF. It's pretty relevant, and I think uh, it was updated also recently to Foundry. So it's a pretty good resource, to learn DeFi, to learn Solidity. So after this, I felt pretty, confident to participate in audit contests. So like just in 30 days, after 30 days, I started my first contest on C4, and it was a week-long contest, not that long, but I gave my everything in that contest. I grinded day and night, throughout the week. And I was like, I have to get a good position in this contest. But sadly, the only bug I found was I had like 40 dupes or something, and I only made $1 from that.
Wow, that's
And that really humbles you. Yeah,
yeah.
that really humbles you. I was like, okay, maybe this is not that easy as I thought. But I was like, I'm already too deep into the stuff, so I'll just keep on learning and improving. So after this, I participated in a couple of contests on Sherlock, and over there, I did get a good ranking. So I think I was top five in one and second rank in the third contest. So that was pretty good. And, that was a major confidence booster for me. Because I went from basically earning $1 to like four digits in
Wow.
like basically a month.
A- And you know,
Yeah, like I didn't know.
I don't know about you, but
Yeah,
I
please.
I come from a third world country from Brazil, and you don't have
Yeah.
you don't have to dox yourself, but See, some of these amounts here in my country, they go like for 6 months of work. They're just out, and
Yeah.
I imagine that. Do you remember what kind of bug that you got your big payout, like the first big payout?
Yeah, it was a medium. Oh, my first big payout, I think it was a bunch of bugs, like 4 or 5 bugs together.
Wow.
Which was, yeah. But yeah, that was pretty good. But like my second position in the third contest was like just one bug, one medium bug. It was an edge case scenario basically. So I got a bit lucky that the judge, saw it as a medium back then.
And that's
But and that's good. Even if I got there by like there was some luck, but that really boosted my confidence.
Do you feel that we are changing the severity of some bugs? Because I saw some people saying that the criticals, the criticals of today were the highs of the past, something along those lines. Like, because we have such a strong way of escalation wars and people are like PvPing each other. Do you think we are changing somehow the severity of some bugs, or you think that that's not really easy to do? Like a bug is a bug.
So basically, I think bugs that are instantly exploitable and can lead to loss of funds, those will always be looked at as criticals. But there is definitely a lot of change when it comes to like mediums, I think, because they are sometimes a bit ambiguous. You can't exactly exploit them, but you do need some condition to be met to exploit them. And the definitions of those conditions are changing over time, definitely. So something that would be a medium last year won't be a medium right now.
That's interesting.
And vice versa. I think it depends based on different platforms as well.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, you were saying that you're from a third world country and the amounts were really huge. So same here. I mean, I don't mind sharing it, but yeah, even I'm from a third world country and the amounts were insane. Like, and back then even three figures, like high three figures were a lot of money. And so I remember like partying a lot, like with the like being really happy and
Nice. I'm rich now,
like
baby.
yeah, with the yeah, 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 you feel like a whole different person. Like
That's really cool.
it's very exciting. Yeah, yeah, the first big payouts are really, really exciting. Like now it's like you get a very high payout and you're like, meh, doesn't matter. But
That's
back then you used to celebrate.
so
Yeah.
interesting, bro. The
Yeah.
I had some stages in my life in crypto that I made a lot of money. Like
Yeah.
I had two senior backend developers for crypto companies. Each one were paying me $13,000 a month. So I was making an amount of $26,000 a month coming from those, overworking,
Yeah.
overemployed at the time. And money kind of lost his fire. I was just spending on
Yeah.
was legit. I
Exactly.
was betting a lot, like going on poly
Yeah.
markets, derivatives. I mean, for people that will make money hearing this, please keep your money safe. Please buy Bitcoin. Keep your money safe. Don't go out betting stuff. Okay.
Yeah, definitely not. I had a really bad experience in January during the Trump coin phase. So definitely keep your crypto safe.
Yeah, no shit coins.
Do not do not gamble on shit coins. Yeah, so basically those payouts were really massive and I celebrated a lot. And right now, right now money doesn't matter that much. Or now you get too used to it after a point. So yeah, that was really a fun few days, few months. And after that, I I joined a really hard contest in April. It was a very large contest, perps, and basically it humbled me again because like I made like a three-figure reward out of that, and it was a month long. And but I learned a lot basically,
Yeah.
so that was good. And in June, I had a really good result, like with with another protocol called Alio. I came second in that, and that was my first five-figure
Wow.
reward. So yeah, that's when I sort of started getting the hang of auditing. Yeah, so basically, yeah, so my uh up to this point, I was working alongside, like on the side, alongside my internship. So I was pretty busy on some of the months.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, like June, I went fully into Web3 security, after the internship.
How does your family
And
take
yeah,
that? Because usually from our parents, I mean, I must imagine you are about 20 or something, right? You're not. I imagine
yeah,
you're not old or something. So and we have to report like we are working, we're getting a job, and our parents are usually use.
yeah,
What are you working with? What do you do? How do you make money? Is this even legal? So
yeah.
how that's relations with you?
Yeah, so exactly about that, it was a huge journey. I mean, trying to explain them what's exactly happening and where all this internet magic money is coming from. But you just sit them down and explain them what exactly is happening and teach them about crypto. And slowly they started understanding it and they were pretty supportive, I guess,
Nice. That's really nice, man.
about it.
That's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. I mean, I still live at home with my parents,
Mhm.
and that was pretty good because I had a like something to fall back on.
And you can also help them, right? You can
So
also give them some gifts,
yeah,
and this is super nice.
yeah, that I did a lot of that. But yeah, it was pretty good. I was pretty comfortable. Like, with audit contests, especially like the judging and escalations can take a lot of time. So you don't really have a lot of income certainty. But I was living at home, so basically I didn't have to worry about money that much. So that's why like it didn't really matter uh whether the money was coming in regularly or not.
One
So that was
one question for you is that regarding
yeah.
so whenever you're doing bounties or contests, are you in sort of a group? So usually talking with other people, or just like in the bounty room in Discord, talking with all the same people participating in the contest, or are you all by yourself, just going hard and going it by yourself?
I'm mostly just by myself
Okay.
when I don't really interact. I mean, I do interact with the other auditors, but usually not about a contest,
I
just
understand.
general stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Keep on, keep on. That's
Yeah,
very
so
interesting talk, by the way.
yeah, yeah. So basically after I just kept grinding contests and I didn't really want to join like a typical Web3 job. I wasn't interested in that. So I mainly just wanted to do solo audits. But it was kind of hard to get clients, even if you have results. So I just kept grinding contests and I had a few more really good results in September, October, and in November I won my first contest on Cantina. And after that, at the same time, I was in talks with Sherlock for Blackthorn.
Nice.
So that's when everything happened at once. I won my first contest, and then I got to join Blackthorn as a founding security researcher. So that was pretty fun.
So if I understand correctly, you guys on Blackthorn, you guys get specific projects. So if I have this protocol, I can go to Sherlock and say, "Hey, I need your elite team to work on this for me for a while." Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's how it works. You only work when a client wants to work with you on a project, on a security audit,
Okay,
and
nice.
you get paid weekly. I think it's similar to Sparebit.
That's really cool. You
Yeah.
got a lot of clients from that already.
I did work on one really long audit, which just ended a few days ago. Yeah.
That's really nice.
So yeah, right now. Yeah.
And there's something also recruiting Sherlock I wanted to talk about with you is that somehow Sherlock is getting a lot of love. So in the past, usually in last years, you would see Code Arena as the leading platform, right? And you would see the Hustler.
Yeah.
I think I would put Unify and Sparebit on the Hustler side, like trying to grinding and get P. And now what I see is people really like Sherlock for some reason, and Cantina is really growing, but growing on a money basis, like they are investing a lot in the project,
Yeah.
like creating, a client, a website, and why people like Sherlock so much.
First of all, Sherlock has like a ELO system. So Sherlock is way more gamified than the other contest platforms. So like people are very, very logged in when they compete on Sherlock because one bad contest and basically you can lose a lot of points.
Wow.
So yeah, people are really, really logged in on Sherlock, and the technology is pretty good. I mean, their platform has some really good judging system, and it's very automated. Like that's the thing I like about Sherlock.
That's really
There's some pretty good technology on the platform. Yeah.
very cool. Keep on, keep on.
So so yeah, I get this question by beginners. A lot of people grind for 3, 4, 5, 6 months and don't get um, you know, similar results. So I would say the reason for uh, me getting good results early on, I think I was absolutely logged in from day one. I was really, really obsessed. I was just really curious about crypto and blockchain. So I think that really pushes you to learn everything you can, even if it doesn't pay off. So I was really obsessed with the technology. And the second point is that I believed in hands-on learning. I didn't really spend a lot of time going through tutorials. I think it's not a very effective way to learn, and it takes way longer when you go through a whole, tutorial playlist
Yeah.
rather than just getting your hands dirty, doing CTFs, doing audit contests.
But are you reading like the IPs? Are you following up, like this more technical side of Ethereum? Or no, you're just like auditing and kind of taking a look at the change log for Solidity or something?
So I usually just learn whatever I need to learn. So for example, if the protocol I'm auditing is implementing ERC20, ERC4626. So I'll just go up and read about it. And that's a kind of learning
Yeah.
uh
That's
tech
some alpha right
technique I
there.
used since the start.
There's some alpha right in there because people
Yeah.
may get stuck in, I'm going to learn all the IPs. I'm going to be like this super technical head. But if you just concentrate on what you need to learn, like some liquid staking or a DEX or, Uniswap hooks, I mean, that could be way more effective.
Yeah, exactly. So I did, go through some playlists for a few days. I read all the upgradability patterns, but I retained nothing
I understand.
that came from that. And I'll be honest, like for a major part of my journey, I couldn't even name the all the upgradability patterns. I just learned what I needed to learn and when I needed to learn. So I didn't really geek out on all the technical and details that much.
Interesting, bro.
And I don't think you need to, because at the end of the day, you just need to understand the kind of business logic the protocol is trying to implement, and most of the bugs are there. I'd say like very specific EIP bugs are very rare. Yeah, so basically, so hands-on learning really helped me because I gave myself a very strict deadline that I'm gonna finish these three things, like the CTFs and crypto zombies in a month, and then I'm gonna go for audit contests. So like having a strict deadline really pushed me, and I did whatever it took to finish those three tasks. And The third thing was like I had really low expectations. I was like, even if this makes me like 500 or $1,000 per month, like I could live off that. I mean, I don't really need a lot. Like I would still choose that over a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had like a lot of beginners have really, really high expectations and they look at the flashy side of, Web3 that you want to earn big numbers and all that. And when they don't make a lot of money in the first few months, they just give up.
Yeah.
But
And
the
yeah, yeah. Um,
it helps to have low expectations.
yeah, and that's something that is really important for us to remember here that even the most successful researchers, they're not making like 180K a year. So it's still a very humbling, so it's still a very like, the people that are making like consistent big payouts, like this is not easy to come by. Like we're talking about maybe 0.5% of all auditors. Most auditors, they're making, I would say, 100K a year, maybe 120K a year. So it's a really some in a month you can get a lot, in the other you're not getting a lot. You can see these auditors getting a streak of good results, just like Military got for a while, and then you don't see his name for a while. And then now we have Victor making a lot of money, but then next year we ain't gonna be seeing him. So it's good to keep humble.
Yeah, it's good to have low expectations. And lastly, I had really high conviction about myself. I've always been competitive. So if I really put my mind towards something, I had like a lot of self-belief in my skills.
Awesome,
So I just wanted to do this as long as it takes and not give up
awesome, awesome.
because like I believe that I would eventually, no matter how long it takes, I would be able to um, you know, be good at this. Okay, so my mindset as an auditor. So first of all, it really helps to be delusional. I also tweeted about this. But basically, even now, when I go through a new code base, it's very overwhelming. The code bases are really huge, and the devs spend probably years sometimes, writing the code. Recently, I went through my toughest code base. It had really, really tough code, like really low level code, Rust and Go and foreign function interface. So I was like, wow, how am I gonna find bugs in this? But basically, I just forced myself to believe that if I'm gonna spend enough time on this code base, I'm eventually gonna uh, learn what it's doing. So, that just helped me push through. And yeah, eventually I did find bugs there. So that was pretty interesting. You just have to push through sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. Actually, yeah. Sometimes all you have to do is stay consistent, keep on going, keep on writing, keep on working, and results will
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to like force yourself to believe that there will be like high severity bugs in this code and no one's perfect. Humans wrote the code, so
Yeah, yeah.
it has to have bugs.
And the code is
Yeah.
immutable, so it makes it having errors 10 times worse.
Yeah.
So just go for it.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely helps to be a bit delusional. Um, and the second uh kind of thing is that you need to believe that if something is hard for you, like a concept is hard for you, it must have been hard for the devs who coded it as well. Most likely they don't understand it that well either. So there's definitely a chance that you'll find some very interesting bugs there. So that's something you should believe. And third thing is that the more complex, usually I've seen this, is that the more complex a code base is, or the more complex a logic is, usually usually pays out more. Like for example, infra is very hard, but some of the biggest payouts and bounties and audit contests that we see are from infra protocols.
By infra, you
And
deeping or oracles? What kind of protocols are we talking about?
like layer 2, layer 1,
Okay.
layer 1 blockchains, yeah, Cosmos SDK, stuff like that. So stuff like that is really, really complex, and I think it has lesser eyes as well. Lesser people, who'll want to review code of that complexity.
Mm.
And yeah, so the more complex something is, the less attention it attracts, and the more the surface area is for bugs. Yeah, so why Web3 security? Like, why would anyone want to be in this industry? So one thing I really like about Web3 in general is that you are judged completely based on your merit. And that's beautiful because it doesn't matter where you come from or who you are. If you provide the same kind of value, you will get the same amount of value back. So that is something
You don't see a lot.
that's not present. Yeah, you don't see a lot in the world, basically.
Yeah. And
And
the amazing amount of people that came from nothing and built themselves a name. Just
yeah, especially so many young people,
yeah.
who are making such big bucks, you know, age or experience doesn't really matter. If you're talented enough, you can basically um, provide more value and make more value than others. So that's pretty good. And secondly, the dopamine of finding criticals is amazing. And when you think about it, you've saved someone millions of dollars. That feeling is amazing. You basically get to save a lot of money and hacks, and you are contributing to the future of finance, which is pretty fun. Mm. So I think that's all for the slides.
Bro, I mean, I don't know if that's all you have, but amazing talk, amazing presentation, man. Thank you so much for building this for us. And it's really relatable because we see that you started from nothing and then didn't got a payout, like put a lot of time,
Yeah.
and then comes the first payout, and then you start building a name, and then it starts to get fun. I think that's one thing that, well, we all need to strive to a point where things get fun. It tends to be frustrating first, but then we apply ourselves and we start getting the results, but it takes time. It's not something that happens. So you need to be at least maybe six, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 months in the game, so you start to see some results. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. If you put the work in, I don't think you need to be like really smart or anything like that. But if you have the grit, if you put the work in, anyone can achieve the same kind of results in Web3 security. So that's pretty special.
Awesome, Sammy. Sammy, bro, I'm gonna close. I mean, it was an amazing session. I'm gonna be doing the editing and putting these in a really special way on YouTube. I'm pretty sure people will love this. It's very relatable, like I just told you. I want to thank you for showing up, taking your time. I know you're a busy guy. You're making a bunch of money, working a lot, to provide for yourself and for your family. So thanks for taking a little bit of your time to give it back to the community, to give it back to us here at OpenSense. We take a lot of care to the people we bring for talks and everything. And it's been nothing but a pleasure to have you here, okay?
Thank you so much. It was really fun. And thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me.
See you guys later. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye, Sammy.